discussed about how expr command can be used for string handling. Okay. So how expr command can be used to find the length of the string, for extracting the substring, and to find the position of the character in the string. Okay. So these are the main uses of expr command in string handling. Then we discussed about while loop with some examples, and last we discussed about for loop. Okay, so coming to the syntax of for loop, which is quite different from other programming language. Okay, so in for loop we have a variable and we have a list. Okay, so in the list we have several items. So every time whenever we go for the for loop, the variable will be assigned to individual items in the list. Okay. For example, first time the variable will be assigned to item 1. Next time the variable will be assigned to item 2. So on it continues. Okay. So I had already showed an example for loop. Okay, this is an example where I will be initially assigned to 1, then I will be assigned to 2, so on. Okay, so I will take different item values in the list. So these are the items that we have in the list. Okay. So I had already executed this program. You see, I will be taking different values which is there in the list. So then we started with the discussing about this example. I had asked a question, what does the dollar star indicates? What does dollar star indicates?
All arguments as single string.
All arguments as a single string. Okay. For example, this is a program name. Okay. So I'm passing the argument 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this entire 1, 2, 3 will be taken as a single string, okay, which will be stored in the command parameter, that is dollar star. Okay. So dollar star, I can also make use of dollar at the rate. Okay, they have similar meaning. So here I will be taking the value 1, 2, or 3. So I will be assigned to the item 1, which will be having 1. I will be assigned to item 2, 2, and 3. Okay. Now this program is to find the sum of these numbers. Okay. The program is to find the sum of these numbers using for loop. So here you can see initially sum is assigned to value 0. Okay, there is no semicolons. Okay. For I is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, initially I will be assigned with value 1. Okay, then do sum is equal to expr. So expr is used for numerical operation, for performing arithmetic operation with sum. Okay, dollar sum, which is a variable value 0, 0 plus 1, which will be storing in the variable sum. So same as your C programming. Okay, so 0 plus 1 will be 1. Then I will be assigned with the value 2. Okay, so now it is 1 plus 2, it will become 3. Then I will be assigned with the value 3. So 3 plus 3, it will become 6. Okay, and finally we will be coming out of the for loop and it will display the sum of the number. Okay. So you can see here sum is 6. I'll give one more value. Okay. You can see here. So 12 plus 34 plus 10, it is 56. Okay. So this is how the for loop can be used to find the sum of numbers that you pass as an argument. Now, what are the possible sources of a list? Okay, the next thing what you are going to study is possible sources of a list. Okay. So in the list, we can have any expression. Okay. In the list, we can have any expression that the shell understands. Okay. So here there are around 5 points. Okay. The list can be a variable. The list can be command substitution. Third one is list can be a wild cards. Fourth one is list can also be a positional parameters. Okay. So they may ask in exam, what are the possible sources of list in a for loop? Okay. So list can be what and all values the list can take. So the first one is, so this is example, list from variables. Okay, you can see here for variable in. So these are the variables. These are built-in variables. We have already studied. So dollar path will give you the list of paths. Okay, which the shell will search for executing the commands. And dollar home is the one which will give you the uh, current home. Okay, home directory. So here first variable will be assigned to dollar path, next variable will be assigned to dollar home. Okay. So here you have to echo dollar where. So you can see the output. Okay, so the first one what you see, it is a output of dollar path. Okay, here we have two paths. So shell will be using two paths to execute the commands. Next dollar home, it is giving the result slash home slash user one. Okay. Yeah. So the next one is list from command substitution. Okay. So the list you can see here for the for loop, the list what you are having is a command. Okay. The command name is cat here. We have specified only one command. The command name is cat. Okay. The cat command is used for displaying, creating the file if it is not there, and it is display the content of the file. So here the where is assigned with this command, okay, which will be displaying the content of the file C list. Okay. Yeah. The next one is the third one for, okay, the list can be wildcards. You can see here we have wildcards here, star.html, star.html. So we are telling this file can take two items from the list. Okay, that item is any files which is having the extension .html or any file which is having the extension .html. Okay, so it is searching for the file which is having these two extensions. Okay, then it will zip that file. If it finds any file with extension .html or .html, it will zip that file. Okay, so gzip, it is used for compressing the file. So next one you can see list from positional parameters. Okay. So in the command line arguments, we have studied different types of positional parameters. Okay. Dollar star, dollar at the rate, dollar hash, dollar zero, dollar one, dollar two. Okay. So these are some of the positional parameters. So list can also consist of, okay, they can also have positional parameters. Here I can have, okay, not only the file names, okay, here I can have positional parameters, dollar zero, dollar at the rate, dollar star, dollar hash, dollar one, dollar two. So like this I can have here positional parameters. Okay. So what does the dollar at the rate tells? It is similar to dollar star. Okay, similar to dollar star. So dollar at the rate, it will give each quoted string treated as a separate arguments. Okay. So I can also make use of dollar star, or I can also make use of a dollar at the rate. So here the argument whatever you are passing, we are passing here two arguments, 9876, it's one argument. Second argument is Rohit. So there are two arguments. So these two arguments are treated as a separate quoted string. Okay, so they will be treated as a separate argument if you give dollar at the rate. Okay. Suppose if you give dollar star, they will be considered as a single string. Okay, they will be considered as a single string. So that is what the difference. Okay. Now the pattern in dollar at the rate. So dollar at the rate will have so here the dollar at the rate. Okay. So it will have these two values, giving these two values, but as a separate arguments. Okay. Now pattern in. Okay, so initially this pattern, okay, will be taking the first value, that is this value. Okay, so first item in the list. So this is the first item in the list, this is the second item in the list. So there are two items in the list. So first it will take 9876, then it will go for the grep command. The grep command will search for the pattern 9876 in the file employee dot list. Okay, so, so here we have used logical OR. So logical OR tells, okay, if the command 1 fails, the command 2 will be executed. Okay, so any one of the command will be executed. Now when it searches the pattern 9876 in the file employee list, okay, you can see there is a pattern in the file. So it will display that line. Okay, so this line will be displayed. So there is only one line with the pattern 9876. Okay. So again the for loop will be executed. Next time the pattern will be assigned with the value Rohit. Okay. So it will search Rohit in the file employee.list. Okay. So you can see, so there is one line with the pattern Rohit. So it will display that line. Okay. It will display that line. Is it clear? So this is about how we can make use of positional parameters in the list. Okay, here this is a list. Okay, so here we are using positional parameter dollar at the rate. So the next one we'll be going to study about set and shift. Okay. So shift and set can be used for manipulating the positional parameters. So here you can see there is an example. Okay. Set 9876. So there are three parameters we are passing for the set command. Okay. There are three parameters we are passing to the set command. So set assigns this argument. So there are three arguments are there. So set will assign these arguments to the positional parameters. So these are the positional parameters $1, $2. Okay. So now how the assignment is done? 9876, that is the first parameter, will be assigned to the first positional parameter, that is $1. Okay. Similarly, next argument will be assigned to $2 and the third one will be assigned to $3. Here, that I'm giving three arguments. Okay. So you can give different arguments. Okay. And here, what happens? 100 will be assigned to positional parameter $1, 200 to $2, and 400 to $3, so on. Okay. Here I am displaying echo $2. Okay. So what value we are getting? It is 200. So in $2, okay, it's a positional parameter. We'll be having the value 200. Okay. See one more example. It's a back quote. It is not a single double quote or single quote. It's a back quote. Okay. Date. So echo dollar star. Okay. So I'm executing this command, date command. Okay. So here we'll be seeing different date results. Okay. So it will display the day in a month, the value of the month, year, okay, time. Okay. So different values and even the date, today's date, okay, different results will be displayed. Now what it is doing is in the set command, okay, in the set command, we are writing, okay, so set will assign Tuesday to $1, October to $2, 13 to $3, so on. Okay, so you can see here echo $1. I am displaying different values. So what it is displaying? $1 is having the first value, that is Tuesday. $5, which is $5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the fifth one, UTC. Okay, and $6 is the last one, 2020. That is the year. Okay, so day of the week is available in $1. Okay, so on. So this is about how we can use command substitution to extract individual field from the date outputs. So these are the two examples you can give for set command. The next one is shift. Okay, so shift is used for shifting the arguments left. So shift will transfer the content of the positional parameters to its immediate lower numbered one. Okay. So see here, so we are executing the date command. Okay. So we are getting the date result. Okay. So this is one date result we are getting. When we give echo $1, $2, $3, so here I have given more space, okay, only for the understanding purpose. So $1 will be having Monday, okay, $1 is having Monday, $2 October, that is the second one. Okay, third one is date, okay, that is $3. $4 is having the time, okay, so on, $5 and $6. So this is the sixth positional parameter, okay, and this is the first positional parameter. Okay. Now what we are doing is we are executing the shift command. So this is a command, shift command. So what does the shift command will do? So shift command will transfer the content of the positional parameter to its immediate lower number. So what it will do? It will transfer the content of the positional parameter to the immediate lower number. That means, okay, now after executing shift command, when you try to display echo $1, $2, and $3, now $1 is having, what is the value that is stored in $1? It is October. So what is that? It is a value of $2. Now the $2 will be stored in $1, $3 will be stored in $2, $4 will be stored in $3. You can put the arrow mark like this. Okay. One shift when you execute, okay, $2 will be stored in $1, $3 will be stored in $2, $4 will be stored in $5, and similarly $5 will be stored in $4. So on it continues. Okay, so one position number, lower number, okay, immediate lower number. Now you can see $1 is having $2 value, that is October. $2 is having $3 value, that is 8. Okay, $3 is having $4 value. Okay, so on. Similarly, $4 will be having $5 value. Okay, so that is IST. Okay, is it clear? Are you able to follow? Are you able to follow? The next one is shift to. Suppose if you write shift 2 or shift 3, you can also make use of a number along with shift command. Okay. Suppose if you give shift 2, shift 3 and all. Now I have given shift 2. In the case of shift 2, it will shift 2 positions. Okay, it will be shifting to 2 positions. For example, okay. Now $1 is having not $2 value, but instead $1 is having $3 value. That is 2 position it will shift. Okay. Now the $1 is having 2 position shift, that is $3 value, that is this value it is having. So this is an example you can give for shift. Okay. So I'll execute an example for shift. By default, you have seen what are the values we are having in $1, $5, and $6. Okay. Now if I give shift, okay, and when I display echo $1, okay. Now $1 is having the value of $2, that is October. So initially $1 was having the value Tuesday. Now now I have given shift command, so that is why $1 is now having $2 value. So that is October. Okay, one immediate lower numbered one. Okay, position. Similarly, you can see the value of $2. $2 is now having the value of $3. That is $1, $2, $3. So $3 will be stored in $2. So that is 13. So likewise, so you can practice different shift commands. Okay. So in the textbook, they have given the example of date with the shift command. So the next one is here document. Okay, so this is one symbol here document. The shell uses this symbol, okay, double less than symbol, to read the data from the same file contained in the script. So the symbol is used for reading the data from the same file. So here there is an example. You can see this is an example. So we have used here document for a command that is mailx. Okay, so mailx is a command for sending the mail. Okay, it's a mail command. So here, this mailx command can be used for sending the short message. Okay, can send a short message. So this is the name of the person to whom you want to send the mail, and this is the content of the mail. These 3 lines are the content of the mail. Now here we have used less than symbol. Okay, so less than symbol, if you are using, you can write the content, okay, or the mail content in the same file instead of writing it in a separate file. Okay, when you want to send a mail to a person, okay, here the person is Kumar. Instead of placing the content of the mail in a separate file, you can write it in the command itself. Okay, in the command itself, you can write the content. How to write? You have to use less than symbol. So this is symbol is called as here symbol. Okay, and here you have to write a delimiter. So this is a start delimiter, and this is the end delimiter. So here normally we write the start delimiter and the end delimiter in capitals. Okay, so you can write any one word capital. I have written here mark. Okay, same way you can write any name you can specify, but a single word. Okay, you can write your own name. Okay, or a word limit. Okay, or test. Okay, but these two should be same, which indicates the start and the end of the content. Okay. So here these are the three lines, okay, which will be sent to Kumar. Okay. So I'll show an example. Here I'll be using here document, okay, for the cat command. So cat command, I'm not specifying any file name, but instead the file content I am writing here itself. So this is my first line, line 1. We can write meaningful message. Okay. This is line 3. Okay. And finally indicate the end. Now you can see these are the outputs. Okay. So file cat command will display the content of the file, but the content of the file we have specified here itself. Okay, by using here document. Okay, so this is the start and end of the delimiter, which indicates the start of the content and end of the content. So these three lines will be displayed. And similarly, you can use it for executing the script. So this program I have already explained. Okay, for reading the pattern, for reading the file and searching the pattern in the file, and if it is not found, we have to, if it is found, then display that record, select a record shown above. Okay, so here I am executing that file with 2.sh. Okay, so here we have to give two. Uh, Yeah, we will be giving two values. Okay, so it reads the file name and it reads the pattern. So what we do is we specify here itself, okay, pattern. So this is a pattern name we are specifying, which will be stored in the variable p name. And here this is the file name we are specifying, which will be stored in the variable f name. Okay, and specify the delimiter. So this is the delimiter n. Okay, you can see the output. Okay. So here we are not specifying the read, okay, pattern name and file name separately, but here in the file itself, okay, this is a file. Here itself we are specifying the pattern and the file, okay, using here command, and you can see here searching for the pattern India from the file 1.txt. So you can see in the file we have 1.txt, we have the pattern India, capital letter India. So it will display that India and it will display the selected record shown above. So this is one way of executing the file where you will pass the argument in the using here documents. Okay. So this is one way of, another way of passing the arguments using here document. So you can give this example. To give one example, any of the example you can give. So the last one is moving on to the last topic, trap. Okay, so this is one more command, trap command. So trap command It is used for interrupting a program. So trap statements let you to do the things you want to do when the script receives a signal. So here in the trap command, the commands will be executed based on the signals we receive. Okay. So there is one point we have to remember. So this command, trap command, executes based on the signals. Okay. So traps statement is normally placed at the beginning of the shell script and uses to list. Okay. So usually they are placed at the starting. Okay. Where you place hash bin user, there only you will place the trap command. So you can see here trap. Okay. After that you write the list of the commands to be executed when a particular signal occurs. So there are two arguments for the trap command. First one is the list of the command and the second one is the signal. Okay. So these are some signals. Okay. Name of the signals, so which can also be denoted using the numbers. Okay. Hang up 1, interrupt 2, quit 3, abort 6. Okay. For alarm it is 14. To terminate the program it is 15. Okay, so you can either write the signal number or you can write the signal names. Okay, so like this you can write the names. So there is an example here, trap, and here whatever you see is in the double quote, it is a command list, and the last we have a signal 2. So 2 it is for interrupt. Okay. So whenever interrupt signal occurs, okay, the command will be executed. So this will tell whenever the signal 2, which is the interrupt signal occurs, okay, the commands will be executed. So what are the command we have here? rm. Rm is for what? Remove. So remove the file. So from the point in the shell program that this trap is executed, okay, two files. What are the two files? That is work1 $$ and data out $$ will be automatically will be removed whenever the signal 2, which is an interrupt signal, is received by the program. So whenever the interrupt signal occurs, so these two files which are stored in the particular folder will be removed. Okay, so this is about trap command. Okay, so this is the last topic in module 2, that is trap. Any doubt in this? So let us look into some simple sample shell programs. So this is one program. So whatever the argument that you passed, okay, should be displayed in the reverse. Okay, for example, if suppose I execute this file, okay, and I pass, for example, let us take that this file name is script, okay, script.sh, okay, and if I pass three arguments, 10, 20, 30, so then these three should be displayed in the reverse. So how? 30, 20, and 10. So this is shell program to display the arguments in the reverse order. Okay. So let us look into the program. So here $hash. Okay. I hope you remember this $hash. So $hash will give you the number of arguments that we have passed. Okay. So here how many arguments we have? 3 arguments. Okay. So n is having the value 3. That is the number of arguments. Okay. Now suppose $n, so that is the value that is 3 is equal to 0. Okay. The value that is stored in n is equal to 0. That means we have not passed any arguments. Okay. If it is equal to 0 means we have not passed any arguments. So some proper message will be displayed. Like you can display a message like number of argument is equal to 0 or enter proper number of arguments. Suppose if it is not equal to 0, so it will enter to the else part. Okay. Else part, it will display the message command line arguments in the reverse order. So here we have used while loop. Okay. So while loop will check whether $n is not equal to 0. Okay, you can see here we have here 3 which is not equal to 0, correct? So 3 is not equal to 0. Okay, so condition is true. So this is a command. Okay, so this is how we write a command with the hash symbol. Okay, so this command, okay, this command why I have written here is to explain what is this dollar n forward slash backward slash dollar n. Okay. So dollar backward slash, okay, we have already studied escape sequence. Okay, the escape sequence is meant for removing, okay, any special meaning of the wildcards. Okay. So here we have used backward slash dollar. Okay. So this will display $1. Okay. So now it will display because since the value of n is 3, okay, value of $n is 3, it will display $3. Okay. And there is one more command, evaluate echo, okay, $n. So that means it will display the content of $3. It will evaluate and display the content of $3. What is $3? This is $1. Okay, this is $2. And this is $3. Okay. So now $3 is what? It is 30. Okay. So that 30 will be displayed. Okay. And next we have expr command. Expr $n. $n is how much? 3 minus 1. It is 2. Okay. So that 2 will be stored here. N will be having the value 2. Now again it will check the condition. 2 is not equal to 0. Yes, it is true. Okay, 2 is not equal to 0. So after that, when you execute this echo command, it will give $2. Okay. Actually, what is happening here is we are escaping. Okay, we are escaping dollar symbol here. We are escaping the dollar symbol. So here you can see here n is equal to dollar hash. Correct. So n is equal to dollar hash. But when you execute the first time, okay, the number is 3. So it will display $3 because it is n is equal to dollar hash. Second time when you execute, n will become 2. So it will display $2. Next time when you execute, it will display $1, which is having 20, and here it will display 10. Okay. So it is 3 minus 1. Second time it will become 2 minus 1. And again it will become 1 minus 1. Okay, 1 minus 1 it is 0. 0 is not equal to 0 condition says it will come out of the while loop. I'll execute this. So this is what the important thing you have to remember. Okay. So this is the one which we use to fetch the value of the positional parameters. Sh new dash reverse dot sh. I will give the same value 10, 20, 10, 30 and 40. You can see here it will be displayed in the reverse order 40, 30 and 10. Okay. Now just to show you what is there in $, what if you write forward slash backward slash $n. Okay, you can see here what it is giving. Okay. Okay, what it is giving? $3. Okay. So first initially it will give $3. Evaluate will command which will fetch the value which is there in $3. What is the value that is there in $3? It is 40. Again, next second time it will expr 3 minus 1, it will become 2. Okay, 2 is equal to 0. Okay, not equal to 0. Yes, command is true. After that, it will display $2 and the value which is there in $2, that is 30. Okay. So this is nothing but the decrement operation we are doing. Okay. Next, it will become 1. Okay. Then you can see it will become $1 and it will display the value which is there in $1, that is 10. Okay. Is it clear? So this is one more example, okay, for while loop for displaying the number starting from 0 to 9. Okay, in exam, they may ask you displaying using a shell script, display the numbers from 0 to 10 or 0 to 9. Okay. So this is a very simple example. We have used while loop here, which is starting from 0. Okay. So here we have used numerical operation, that is less than. Okay, we are checking the value whether it is less than 10. So first initial it will be 0. So it will display $0 will be displayed here. So $A will display 0. Then you increment the value of A, which will become 1. Then you check 1 is less than 10. Yes, condition is true. Display. Increment the value, it will become 2. 2 is less than 10. Yes, condition is true. Display the value, that is 2. Again increment and so on. It will continue. When it becomes 9, you check 9 is less than 10. Yes, it is true. Display the value of 9. Then increment, it will become 10. Again check 10 is less than 10, condition fails. You will come out of the loop. Okay. So check out this. So similarly, you can do it using for loop. You can see here. So initial value of A is 0. Okay, then it will get implemented and it will display in the value till 9. So what is the numerical operator used for less than equal to? What change we have to do if you want to match 10? Less than equal to. If you want to match till 10, then you can use numerical operator less than equal to. Okay. So starting from 0 till it will become equal to 10, it will be displaying the result. Let us look into one more example. Okay. So this is asked in the exam. Write a shell program to create a simple calculator which can perform basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division. Okay. After getting the user input. It's a very simple program. Here we have used switch case. We are entering two numbers. Okay, and we have echo statements. Okay, if you tell one is addition, 2, 3, and 4, and we are taking the input which is stored in the variable ch. Okay, a single input for getting the case, switch case. So case 1 means it is for addition, and here we have used the command expr. Expr, it is a command to perform. Okay, expr is a command that is used for performing the arithmetic operation. I had already explained about EXPR. So here addition, multiplication, and for multiplication, see, we are not supposed to give just star. Okay, we have to give backward slash star. Okay, and this is for division. You can also go for modulus. Okay, and finally display the value of result. Only thing we have to understand is the syntax. Okay, how to write the case. Other than that, logic is similar to your C programming. Enter the two numbers. Okay, I'll enter 10 and 2. So it will ask for the choice. So I'll enter the choice as 3. So it is giving the result 10 into 2, it is 20. Six. I'll go for the one more example. 3 and 5. Okay. Choice 1. The result is 1 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay. So you can execute and check this example. So there are few examples, okay, in this module 2 program which is already uploaded. Try to execute those examples. So this will complete your second module. If you have any doubt, you can ask. To answer attendance, Naresh,
Present, ma'am.
Navina,
Yes, ma'am.
Anayana,
Present, ma'am.
Nikita,
Present, ma'am.
Nikita Rao,
Present, ma'am.
Nishant, Pawan,
Yes, ma'am.
Pajwal, Pramodini,
Yes,
Pranita,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.